I am in the middle of kind of nowhere and it is just ice and I can't go outside. So I've been thinking a lot about like the past and everything. I'm not reminiscing or nostalgic or anything. It's just thinking of things, talk about and just to, kind of like open up my mind and shit because I can't really do anything else physically, go outside and shit. So like, yeah, and one specific conversation came to my mind about like selfishness. I was talking to one of my peers or colleagues, and I had like conversation like this before with like people who I at least know, but I never really said it. But I'm a very selfish person, and I think that's a good thing. Like I'm not, I never said it to anybody mainly because it gets like very bad rap. It gets such a negative, like it's such a negative characteristic to have to be selfish. But I just don't think so. Like. And I get it to a point why people think selfishness is kind of like, and kind of like a flaw in a character. And the thing is, like, I come from like a culture that kind of also sees selfishness as this, mortal enemy, as this evil thing and that people are subjected to. And our kids are also taught to be selfless and not like not like directly, indirectly they're also taught to be selfish and like mind your own business and all of that. But like I grew up in a culture where sacrifices and like not human sacrifice, but like people making sacrifices for other people is like a huge thing. Like parents making sacrifices for their kids, and partners and spouses sacrificing their dreams and their ambitions or their careers or certain things for the other person, for each other. And like that, as a society people sacrifice a lot of things, and like as a community, like I grew up in a culture like that and I never really understood it, and I thought that was kind of like a little stupid. And I'm not like underestimating or like undermining all the sacrifices that was made by people. I respect it. I respect it to a point, and I also understand it. I understand where it's coming from. And even for me to be sitting here, a lot of sacrifices had to be made. Like a lot of people had to give up a lot of things, and a lot of people, even like the little things, even like tiny teeny things, and for like, and I'm not saying like it undermines anything, and I'm just like, it does give my being here, my existence, kind of like a lot more weight because people had to work hard and like kind of, like I said, sacrifice and like suffer for me to be here. It does give it some sort of relevancy and some sort of weight. But I personally, like, I just think that's just like a stupid thing to like teach children, I personally believe like people should be more selfish. I'm not saying like if you see like a accident on the road you should leave them be, like leave them alone. I'm not talking about that kind of selfishness. I'm talking about, I know a lot of people who have cut themselves open and who have sacrificed and who had gave up so much for other people and who were left with nothing because after a point you give up everything for everybody. You're just going to keep on giving. You're not gonna, if there is nothing coming back, you're just gonna be this empty person who the main thing they do is provide. And people take advantage of that, and that's just not a place where that should be idolized, and a characteristic that I think people should be taught. And like I said, like back to the point, I believe like people should be more selfish enough to care about things, enough to care about themselves, enough to care about their relationship, enough to care about their dreams, enough to care about their goals, and like not give that up for anything. Like, and I'm not like I said, I'm saying this again and again and again. I'm not trying to underestimate or like undermine the things that people had to give up in order for other people to be here, or in order to, even as a society or even as family or whatever. Like, but I just like it puts so much expectations and so much pressure on other people to be like, to do that, to kind of give up something for other person. Like that's just should not be something that is normalized to be asked of other people. Like, I'm sorry if I'm not like articulating it correctly, but I think people should be more selfish with themselves, should be more selfish with their dreams, with their beliefs, with their hopes, with their faith, with their family and their friends. Be should care about themselves more, enough to put their needs and their hopes and their dreams above other people. And I think that should be taught rather than selflessness. And of course, like, and I'm not talking about caring about your dreams in order to like to the point where you're hurting other people, where you're responsible of other people's welfare. But I'm just talking about where it is taught and it is normalized for people to just expect other people to give up things, give up on careers, give up on dreams, give up on hopes, and give up their family just to be a certain way, just to be with someone, or just to be somewhere, or just to do something. It's just such a it's selfish to expect something like that. It's just a matter of point of view, who is selfish and who is selfless. Like, selflessness is just not, it's just not the characteristic or the attitude that people like make it out to be. I just don't think it's just novelty. There is this this glorification of this selflessness. Like, selflessness, do you even hear it? You're literally disregarding yourself. They're like making yourself less so others can be more. That is, and I just don't think that's the kind of characteristic that needs to be taught, and that needs to be normalized or glorified or romanticized. And it's just sad that kids, like, even kids, give up their dreams and their hopes in order to take responsibility for their family. It's just, and I get it, like, there are a lot of factors that go into that, like moral obligation, family collection, sentiments, all of that I take into account. But like, can we stop glorifying sacrifices and like selflessness and disregarding ourselves and letting ourselves be walked all over and like be a doormat to other people, rather than respect enough, care about yourself, be selfish enough to respect yourself, to take care of yourself, to love yourself, and to create relationships, to talk with people, and to carry yourself with a certain amount of dignity. Be selfish, because nobody else is going to care about you in this world other than yourself. Like, do it like that. Of course, respect and love and take care of the people who actually care about you other than yourself. But at the same time, don't forget about yourself. At the end of the day, you're the one you go to sleep with, you're the one you wake up with. And I think there is a kind of self-obligation you feel towards you to be selfish enough to like kind of take care of yourself and love yourself. The things that other people don't give you, the things that other people refuse to give you, I think you have a self-obligation to yourself more than other people. Like, how about you put that self-obligation over your obligation for other people? Like, that's just, I'm sorry if I'm not like communicating it clearly, but I think people should prioritize themselves over other people. And if that's what is called selfish, I personally think people should be more selfish. Not enough to put welfare of other people in line, but enough to put their own dreams above other people's needs and other people's dreams. And it should not be normalized that a certain person or a certain someone should have to give up something just because they were born into a certain family, just because they were born into a certain economy, or just because they were born into a social or economic background or a family or something, or in a specific country. I just don't think that's right. If you are selfish about yourself, you care about yourself more, you do all these things for yourself more. Like, self-obligation comes before your obligation to other people. And that is a different kind of mindset, where you give time and attention and affection to your own goals and yourself, your own value and your intellect and your relationship and all these things that you have. And I think that's so important. And it's not just about yourself, your family, your friends, and your beliefs, your principles, everything that make you. How is that? Why should that be put under other people's skills or other people's dreams or other people's abilities or other people? That's just, you should be your priority. I just think that is the right way to approach life and approach yourself. And once, like, nobody else is going to give that time and that attention to your dreams and your beliefs and your skills and your value. Like, that's on you, that's for you, that's your responsibility. And yeah, I just thought that's just something that needs to be said. And like, it's just a different point of view, it's just how you see it, I guess. Like, it's just we need to like stop thinking about like a certain skill or a certain character as this negative or this positive thing. I just think like there is always negative and positive side to every concept. So I just think it's better to just kind of give it a very open thought, rather than just, focusing on the positives, or like just kind of categorizing it as like this negative thing. I think a certain level of selfishness would do some people very good. I just think that. I'm so sorry if that's not the opinion that you lived with or that you personally believe in. But like, I would really love to know your opinion. So comment below. And bye-bye. See you guys in the next video.